He's that open guy. It's all about the motion of release, and it does, outside of Tom Brady, it does start to increase as you get older. Tom Brady seems to stay the same for some reason.
Yeah, we're done comparing people to that. Like, that's just the anomaly at this point. All right, Thursday Night Football. I'm sure we're going to have a lot to talk about here. Bills going on the road. Is it fair to the Bills? Give them a road game? Yeah. AFC's favorite, week 1, to go on a Thursday
going
to face
against
the Rams?
The Super Bowl champions of last year. Absolutely, it's fair. It's what should happen.
This is more a compliment than it is anything else?
Win a Super Bowl, and then you complain then.
Kick a field goal in one, and maybe you could have some Buffalo. Wide right and all that. But, yeah, I mean, a lot of people have the Bills as their favorite to win the Super Bowl this season. I think, again, getting this game, obviously, Super Bowl champ almost always gets it outside of that year where it was the 100-year anniversary or whatever, Chicago versus Green Bay.
Yeah.
50-year anniversary? I think so.
I don't remember now.
Of Chicago versus Green Bay, where they let those two play. But still, great game. Love that it's on Thursday night. Kind of sucks to be a Bills fan, except for when you consider the fact that you get 11 days off to beat my Titans in week 2.
That's the way that my work
at home.
My work day on Friday is going to suck terribly because I'm going to watch this whole entire game all the way through because I miss football that much. I love this. I love this. And what I love about it is the competition for both teams. You're talking about the last year's Super Bowl winners in the Rams facing arguably the best team in the AFC. Mm-hmm. And saying, hey, maybe it's not a hangover. Maybe we can take this and win something out of it. And this is great competition to start your year off. And then you look on the other side of the ball and you go, we are considered Super Bowl favorites, and we're playing the last year's Super Bowl winners. If you go out on the road and win this game as Bills, this is a huge step going forward, because when you talk about other teams that are hot on the AFC side, we look at like the
Chargers. Chiefs.
I was going to do the Bengals, but for some reason I was stumbling on that word. You look at the Bengals, you look at the Chiefs, you look at the Chargers. If they lose week 1 and the Bills win this game against a tough competition, that's a huge start in the AFC.
I'm going to read this. I know we've shifted gears, but I'm going to read this because finally somebody agrees with me. Nathan says the Steelers should start Kenny Pickett right away. Throw him in. Cheers to that, buddy. I kind of agree because of where the roster is.
Two people in the whole world believe you.
Yeah, well, me and Nathan,
I think
we're on the same wavelength.
I think your grandmother agree with you too, or something like that.
No, she told me Kenny Pickett needs to sit. Ian goes on to say that he has Josh Allen, so he's going Bills 27-21. Josh Allen has 4 passing TDs, but also somehow I missed extra point in there. I mean, I like the exotic score for those 4 passing TDs. I think this game winds up a little bit more high scoring because I think the weakness of both of these teams isn't the offense, it's the defense. I think the Rams especially have lost some talent out there. Not a ton of it, but they lost their second cornerback. I think they're going to be a little – they lost Von Miller. They've lost some guys there. Yeah. I think the Bills are going to score a lot of points. The Rams are throwing.
I can't do it, dude. I will give you the fact that their team might decline on defense, but when you're talking about Aaron Donald, you're talking about Jalen Ramsey on a not as good defense, that's crazy talk, dude.
And now you have paid Aaron Donald, which, again, he's been paid, but now highest paid Aaron Donald, wrong side of 30. Defense is getting worse around him. Everything else, I'm not saying Aaron Donald's going to be, like, bad.
Okay. I was just about to be like, what in his game last year did it make you say that?
Well, even Aaron Donald last year, don't get me wrong, he showed up in big moments. He was great. But Aaron Donald from 2 years ago was a lot more dominant than Aaron Donald.
All right, hold on.
And both of those guys are still the best D tackle in football.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. At some point in time in the age of a player's career, they do have to dial stuff back. But you look at like Aaron Donald, you have to compare him to like Lawrence Taylor or Reggie White.
Well, let me ask
when they got older, their game evolved in the sense that, hey, maybe not every play I'm back there, but when the moment counts,
yes, and
I am there.
I don't think there was a bigger moment than that than the last drive of the Super Bowl where Aaron Donald had that big stuff on, what was it, like 3rd and 1 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was 4th down, actually.
I don't know,
remember.
but I remember exactly what you're talking about.
Right at the end. I agree with that. The problem is, who else is stepping up on that defensive line? Give me another name right now on the Rams defensive line that isn't Aaron Donald.
I would have to pull up the roster because I do not know.
Because that guy isn't there, is my point here.
Now you're making me look.
All right, go ahead and look. And my point here being, I think the Bills still have some susceptibility on defense. I think even though that team is solid across the defensive front, they're not elite. This isn't the Steelers or the Ravens we're talking about. It's not one of these other teams that
Leonard
like
Floyd.
I mean, he was okay last year. To his credit, he left Chicago and he got a little bit better.
Ashawn Robinson.
Ashawn Robinson?
I said Ashawn.
Okay. Ashawn. Not a terrible player. He's all right.
Yeah.
Not the guy we thought he was going to be, admittedly. When he came out of
Bobby
college,
Wagner.
There you go. 39-year-old Bobby Wagner. That's not true, but old Bobby Wagner. Okay. You got me there. He's not on the defensive line, but that's okay.
Neither was
points for trying.
Neither was Leonard, but we just had to say
he's an outside linebacker.
It's a 3-4.
Okay. Anyway, the moral of the story is I think both these defenses are going to struggle a little bit in this game, and I think we're in for like an offensive shootout. I think the Bills still win it. I'm going to go a little crazy here, Drew. I'm going to say it's going to be 38-28 that the Bills wind up winning this thing.
I'm sorry. I'm writing down that you said the Bills.
You disagree?
Well, Nathan's saying the Rams 36, the Bills 28. Sean,
Nathan, cheers to you, man. He knows what he's talking about.
Sean, good.
Oh, wait, he said Rams 38?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. Nathan, what are you talking about, man?
36.
You lost
Bills
me after
28.
the Kenny Pickett talk.
Sean, good to see you, man. He says he has the Bills winning because, he's a Bills fan, but he's got a crazy name. We'll have 45-12 on Thursday night. He's going for the big upset.
I hope for all our sakes that's not true.
Big upset.
Unless it's like 10-12 for like half the game, and then the Bills like turn it on for the second half. I hope for all of our sake that isn't true. I don't think it would get that far out of hand, but
I'm
never know.
gonna say this.
Super Bowl hangovers are real.
Absolutely, they are. I'm going to say this, and I'm only going to say this because I don't want the Bills to be as good as I think they're going to be. I'm going to say the Rams take this, and they're going to take it by like the slimmest of margins. It's going to be like a field goal at the last moment, or it's going to be like some defensive stop where they're about to kick a field goal, and it's like 1-point win for the Rams. Even though Super Bowl hangovers are real, you're in L.A., you have the hype of the crowd around you. There's no issue with selling out this new stadium that the Rams have. It is
for the Chargers, but
yeah, but we're not talking about them.
Same stadium.
We're not talking about them. I really think that you're going to see this happen where it's going to be a very close game. And if the Bills squeak it out, I wouldn't be upset. Only upside the fact that I am a Chiefs fan, but. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a great game. I'm so glad they're doing this on Thursday instead of like the Packers and Bears because they're celebrating their 58th year anniversary. I'm so glad.
That was a great game, though. We were at Buffalo Wild Wings for that, if you remember that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to read a couple more of these comments here. Ian says that Detroit is going 20-14 over Philly, and he says he says he's like that and he doesn't have high hopes. I'm not going to make a beer bet. We said we're not making beer bets with fans.
I don't even see that comment. But anyways.
Let me just say this. I disagree. I think Philly wins that game. I don't feel like I'm going on a limb saying it either. Perry, our resident historian, says the Bills are 8-5 versus the Rams lifetime and 3-0 versus the Rams in at LA and St. Louis. He said they beat the Rams in Buffalo in 2022. Almost let them come back in the second half, 35-32. Thank you. I will say 8-5. I don't care as much about historic records. I know like there's some like Tom Brady like owning the Bills that might matter, but most of the time you're talking about different teams, different coaches, even different front office organizations. So to me, it matters a little bit less about like long-term kind of records against these franchises and matters a little bit more about where they're at right now.
Yeah, if this was the same coaches, same quarterbacks, roughly the same rest of the roster, we'd probably be talking about history being that. And I get Perry, I'm not trying to knock it, but it doesn't always seem to work out that way. Cody says, do you
throw your best offense out there in the first game as an offensive coordinator? And it just took the comment away. For either one of these teams, it's a long season and hot starts aren't as important as in college.
I disagree.
I don't disagree that college, it's make or break because like you lose 2 games in college and you're dead. So hot starts are more important in college. But Yeah, you throw it out there. You throw out your best because the best offensive coordinators, you change your game plan throughout the season.
You are not playing the same offense that you play week 1 that you're playing in week 14, 15,
week
16, 17.
Week 7, it should be evolved.
Well, for sure, it's not the same at that point.
Exactly. So, yeah, you throw it out there because you've had a whole offseason to think about how I'm going to do this, number one. And number two, there is so much value in being that number 1 seed now where you get to buy. I know we didn't see it last year as 2 4 seeds played each other. But there is so much value in getting the only bye in the playoffs that historically those teams wind up going to the Super Bowl. Of course, you have to turn it out week 1, no matter what.
Yeah.
Burn it out. And then the good offensive coordinators say, I just showed all my trick plays that I've been thinking about for the whole offseason, but by next week, I'm going to have 5 more. I'm going to have 6 more. I'm going to have whatever it takes to win the game, and I'm going to have that ready to go. I mean, it's a constant evolution when you're talking about the offensive game. So why hold anything back?
Next year, man, completely off football. We need to change these chairs out at the bar, man. My butt hurts. Anyways, Nathan says 44 Rams, Bills 7. So take that, Drew. He's going for the blowout.
We have multiple 40 to single digits almost, but in different directions.
Either way. If we're talking about a blowout here, why is it like the one offense doesn't score any points? Why is it that there's
in
no
garbage time? You can't tell me either of these teams wouldn't take their foot off the gas.
All right. So
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
You're up 44-7 in the third quarter. You're telling me you're not taking your foot off the gas a little bit on defense. Like you're gonna give up 2 more touchdowns and be like whatever. So that's why I think this is gonna be a good game. Maybe I'm the only one. I know I said it wouldn't be like.
Oh, I said
down
it
to the
was.
wire.
I'm excited that it is.
I know my prediction wasn't down to the wire. But I still think this is going to be a closely contested game that maybe the last drive or two aren't as important because we're like, oh, it's over now. But I think this is going to be a game that through halftime, you're going into the third quarter like, I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah. Ian says the box I have for you is going out at the end of the week, just FYI. Awesome, man.
We are on bar stools, too. He said we need new ones, or we said we need bar stools for next year. We are on a form of bar stool.
Do we still have our P.O. box?
I do.
Okay.
Yes.
The sports around the bar.
The tech guys. The tech guys do. Don't worry about that. Let's just hope it works better than it did today when they forgot the microphone. Perry also says the Bills, by 6, they're on a 13-second revenge tour. I agree with that. Yeah. I think the sour taste from last year is probably still sticking around. And I think they're going to go out and try to prove that they're the number 1 team, whereas the Rams, I think, are going to come up a little soft because anytime you win it, you can't tell me you come in with the same hunger as like the Bengals are right now.
Right. My pick is purely off the base. I don't want the Bills to win. I think this is a toss-up game. I really do.
Cody wants to know, does Stafford lose a little bit here? Talking about this game with their losses at wide receiver. He's talking about with both OBJ and Robert Woods. I disagree. Cody, I think he's gotten better with Allen Robinson. I think OBJ was actually pretty good.
I think Woods is good too, but he was hurt.
I think both of them were very good for like the 8 games they played. I think both of them were very solid. I want to see what Allen Robinson looks like playing with a quarterback that's actually the elite quarterback.
There's a reason why I have Allen Robinson on my fantasy team. It's
because you took him like the pick before I got him.
Well, that's your own fault for not having
going second. Yeah, that's my fault for going first. Can I say this about the Rams, though, really quick, when you're talking about their passing group? Allen Robinson, I know I said this in a previous show. It might have been last time. It might have been a couple ones ago. He had Christian Hackenberg as his college quarterback. Then he moved on to Blake Bortles and Mitch Trubisky. This man has not had an elite quarterback. You heard it. Mitch Trubisky, not an elite quarterback, has not had anywhere near an elite quarterback in his career. For the first time, now that he's 30 years old, he's playing with Matt Stafford. So, yes, I expect good things out of the Rams passing the ball. If there's one thing I feel that is going to be strong for the Rams this year, it's throwing the football. I think their running game's not going to be that great. I think their offensive line has some question marks. I think Cam Akers isn't quite as good as I thought he was going to be coming out of college. I thought he was going to be a little bit better. I remember telling you, like, second-round pick, I was like, Drew, that's a steal.
Yeah.
Hasn't quite lived up to that. I think their defense is going to have some struggles. If there's one thing they're able to do, between Allen Robinson and his physical ability and then Cooper Kupp, just the absolute destroyer of defenses, they're going to throw the rock.
I disagree on the defense part of it, but, yeah, where was the run game last year? Where was the tight end play last year? Where was the receiving core last year and the Rams won a Super Bowl? I mean, realistically, beyond Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford playing on offense and the O-line playing very well, there wasn't a lot of like, oh, that was so dominant, that's the reason why they won. No, this is a solid team through and through, and I believe the Rams will make enough plays outside of during like off-season move or during the season moves and trades before the deadline happens, that you're going to see the Rams in the playoffs, and they're going to be a force to reckon with, regardless if they're the first seed or what is the other wild card? I can't remember what seed those are now because they added one more seventh seed. So I think this team is in position to could be repeating Super Bowl champions. Question is, can they do it? Can they do it when an AFC looks so dominant? I think any AFC team at this point goes to the Super Bowl. They might be the favorites.
At the very least, I would say it's an advantage to play the softer schedule. So
Agreed.
if you can cruise into the Super Bowl and then you get any one of these AFC
But-
teams coming out battered and broken, having played these great games every week in
as
and
you
week
should
out,
know, even when you play the Jaguars, the Colts, and
doesn't always turn out great for you.
what's the other team you guys
The
play?
Texans.
The Texans. It
Yeah.
doesn't seem to keep your team healthy all the time.
Sometimes, but the problem is my team is just as bad as those guys. So they're not elite either. Okay, final thoughts, Drew. You haven't picked anybody yet.
I did.
you
I
did.
said
You
the
picked the
Rams.
Rams.
I said the Rams, and I said it's only because I think that, or only because I want the Bills to lose.
Is
It's not
this-
because I think they're going to lose.
So this isn't beer bet worthy. That was going to be my next question.
Sorry, man. No.
No, I don't think so either. I don't feel that good about the Rams or about
It's
the
like
Bills.
if I toss a coin and it landed the Bills to win, I'd be like, oh, Bills won.
At home, Rams coming off the Super Bowl, I could definitely see them winning this game. So I don't feel super strongly about this one. But I'm going to go with the Bills. I'm going to go with everybody's favorite. I'm going to go with the team that I believe is going to come out motivated, like Perry said on that 13-second revenge tour, where they don't want to hear the number 13 all season. I hope nobody has that number on their team.
There's a lot of 13 seconds in a whole game of football, so good luck.
Don't look at the clock.
How many 13 seconds matter?
Yeah.
I mean, it's that's not.
They matter more when you don't squib it.
Yeah. The issue is that they lost when they felt like they should win, and that's every team in the NFL. When they play, if they play, I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at the roster, but when they play the schedule, they play Kansas City. I'd probably take the Bills.
Oh, they do. First seeds.
Well, then I'd take the Bills.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see how you feel in the moment, and me too.
I mean,
But,
that is revenge.
that comes down the pipe. Sure, of course, but we'll see where everybody's at that point. Anyway, do we have any more comments we want to hit?
Perry says Ozzy Osbourne halftime show.
How do we feel about?
Thought he was moving back to.
Yeah, how do we feel about him moving back to England?
I
and
guess
being
we don't feel
America's
anything.
too crazy.
Yeah.
You're Ozzy. You're supposed to be crazy.
Bye, buddy.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, make sure you hit the subscribe button below and ring the bell to stay up to date with all of our NFL videos as well as everything else we're talking about in sports.
We have a great community on Facebook already, but we're trying to grow our community on YouTube because we believe you guys can talk sports just as well as anybody else, and we can't wait to have those conversations with you.
So grab a drink, hit subscribe, come talk sports with us.